Damn it. Rough start to a video, but okay, you know what? I'll take it. Professional setup here, people. But anyway, today, whenever I post this, I'm talking to you about WitchTok. Because some things have reached me recently, and I'm not going to talk to you about those people in specific because I don't give a damn about them. But they are an example of what WitchTok is and who it is populated by. WitchTok came to me on Twitter, ironically. Somebody reposted a video by Witchfoot when I forgot, but I remember being like, there's a WitchTok? There are witches like myself on TikTok? I must go there and meet my people. I must befriend my people. Yeah, that worked out. And I made a TikTok account and started posting on WitchTok. And I let my guard down because I sort of tricked myself. This was my fault. This was one of few things that was my fault in the whole thing. I tricked myself into believing that these people are going to become my community. Some of them are going to become my friends, and I'm going to finally meet my people. I deluded myself, and I let my guard down, which led to a ego-tripping, narcissistic, drunken fool and abuser to earn my trust and scoop me up and try to recruit me into her little group of flying monkeys. I didn't last too long. She is somebody who recruits the vulnerable. Even though she hates minorities like queer people, people of color, she still tries to recruit them to, I don't know what the hell she's doing these days, and I don't give a fuck. But this experience of mine seems to be like a pretty standard WitchTok experience, which is why I'm talking about it. Because it happened also to my best friend who I met through being doxxed by the same group of people. Funnily enough, I don't think this hag and her gay friend are still on speaking terms while my friend Karen and I are still going strong. Well-ish. But anyway. You know, still doing better than those two, so ha ha ha, suck it, lady. So this woman earned my trust, and I got into her Discord group, and it became pretty obvious that a lot of things were wrong in this Discord group. There was a lot of teenagers in there, which didn't make me feel comfortable because I wanted to speak to adults and hang around adults. And, you know, but when there's a 13, 15-year-old, you have to be like, yeah, which it's not comfortable. But anyway, it's also really weird that she allowed children in her Discord. But anyway, I quickly fell out of her favor because I had a conversation with somebody who she was beefing with, and I tried to make peace. I was trying to be her friend and look out for her, but she took offense to that. and she made me confess my crimes in the Discord, and I had no bloody clue. I couldn't fucking imagine that me trying to look out for her was going to be seen as an offense. So I stood up to her, which got me harassed and doxxed subsequently, which seems to be the normal WitchTok experience. A lot of people get doxxed on WitchTok. And there's a lot of drama. There's a lot of racism on WitchTok, and homophobia and transphobia, which is not really what I consider a tenet of witchcraft. Historically, witches always looked out for the vulnerable in society, helped out those in need, and now these people are always doing something racist or homophobic to a practitioner who is not white and cishet. Like, really. And, you know, they all want to be empowering women and blah, 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 but, like, yeah, why don't you practice what you preach? Oh, what's that? You don't practice witchcraft but claim to? Well, that's embarrassing. WitchTok has always had some big egos trying to seek power and control people and make cults. What I was involved with was like a cult-like situation, you know, because all of these people came after me, and a lot of people came after me and started making videos. And one day I was scrolling TikTok and I found this woman who I've never seen before in my life talking about me, and I was like, is this what you people are involving yourselves with? Like, people you've never spoken to? You just picked up some WitchTok drama and you're talking about people you've never met before? Like, that was strange. It was strange to see somebody talking about me standing up to a narcissistic bully on my For You page. Like, damn, I made the front page news. Very few people actually took my side. And this person had a history of targeting people of color and LGBTQ plus people. And everybody took her side, which let me know who they are, and by blocking me and unfollowing me, that trash took itself out and did me a massive favor. Because if you take the bully side, that tells me all I ever needed to know about you. That's the only thing I need to know about you. And in case one of those people who took her side, and they recognize who I'm talking about, and they recognize that they took her side back then, let me tell you one thing. You are fucking filth. You are just toe jam between her nails, between her toes. That's what you chose for yourself. And you are no witch. I would be ashamed to call you a fellow practitioner, which you're not anyway, so. And now, WitchTok is rife with drama and generative AI. So let me get in your face again and tell you one thing. Witchcraft is, by one definition, worship of nature. Generative AI not only steals from artists and endangers vulnerable, poor neighborhoods. It also harms the environment. So if you think you're a witch and you're using the slop and theft machine, you're not. You are a cosplayer who probably gives their money to Amazon, and you are an embarrassment. Oh yeah, the consumerism of WitchTok. Like, these people are like, oh, you need to buy this, you need to buy this, you need 500 crystals. No, that is also a huge problem on WitchTok. And they buy their entire practice on Amazon and think they are my equal. I've spent 30 years practicing, researching, sometimes hurting myself. And you who funds Jeff Bezos and funds one of the most evil men on the planet, you think you're my equal? I wouldn't piss on you if you were on fire. I'd save the piss for a good hex. And no, you're not worth the hex. I wouldn't even hex you, because you're nothing. I don't hex nothing. There's no point in hexing nothing. Yeah, the overconsumption problem on WitchTok is something that I also didn't like. Oh, witchcraft is expensive, somebody once actually said in a comment, and I was like, what the hell are you talking about? There are trees, there are flowers, there are rocks, there's everything outside, no matter where the hell you live. Everything can be a good ingredient. And you're like, I need to buy $20 herbs off of... No, you don't. No, you don't. If you don't have it available to you, you have a substitute. You have something that has similar properties available to you. Granted, there are some ingredients that you kind of have to buy. We live in a capitalism, fatal stage capitalism, as I like to call it. We live in that. So naturally, you're going to have to put out some money to practice witchcraft. But it's not this expensive hobby that... No, it's not. If you're buying your practice, I have no respect for you. I like to invest in my practice for the aesthetic mainly. The money that I get from readings and spells that I sell to people, I like to invest in tools that are aesthetically pleasing, which is what costs money. Effective tools of witchcraft don't cost a lot of money. You have an old bowl, you probably have some sort of a candlestick, candle holder at home, you have a pot, you have something that you can start with. And there's cheap, like there's Dollar Trees and dollar stores, whatever you have, Poundlands in whatever part of the world where you can get affordable, basic things to practice. You don't need to buy super expensive things to be legit. You don't need 500 herbs, you'll never use them. You don't need 500 crystals, you'll never use them. You don't need 100 cauldrons, 100 watt. You don't need all of that. You don't. WitchTok is lying to people, making them believe they need hundreds, thousands of dollars to be a witch. Hoarding books and cauldrons and wands and crystals. No! If you let yourself be, you'll feel a connection with the tools that are right for you. Not every tool or crystal or whatever is going to be right for you. Don't waste your money. I've never seen WitchTok talk too much about thrifting, ethically sourced crystals. Whenever somebody wanted to take that ethical approach, they never got popular. They never got popular, or rarely, but like then they um, lost momentum because they weren't in drama. Drama is the main fuel of WitchTok. People arguing because they don't have their own practices to mind. I like to say, mind your own cauldron. It doesn't matter what somebody else does. Unless somebody is being deceitful, lying, scamming, or harming people, which most of what WitchTok is, but it is what it is. There's also these witches who like to play games with other witches. Like, you think that another witch is not powerful, it tells me how you view yourself. If you don't think that another witch has skills and talents, that you're free to mess with them and toy with them and waste their time and hurt their feelings, you're telling me that you don't actually believe in yourself or practice anything, again, with the fakes. You're telling me that you don't actually believe in witchcraft if you are trying to fuck with another witch. If you don't think another witch is protected and you go after them with whatever method, I don't know what you're doing with your life. There were several people who tried to scam me out of who get free readings out of me. Well, I can't come out with friends. And I said no, and I never held on. I'm back. Somebody just was skulking around and making noise. Rude. But anyway, there were several people who were like, oh, we're friends, we are witchy friends. And then they started to play games with me. One girl was like asking for my address to send me a package, and I'm like, okay, cool. Somebody wants to be my friend and send me gifts. I love, as somebody who grew up lonely and without any friends, this was like so exciting to me. And then nothing arrived, and then I saw that she either removed me or blocked me, so something or other, like, yeah. This playing games with other witches means that you don't understand what a witch even is. Like, it's either ego that you think you're all powerful, or you're just underestimating people because your witchcraft practice is weak, for lack of a better word. Another huge problem on WitchTok and every other spiritual community, but WitchTok seems to take the cake with this one, is spiritual psychosis. I see so many people spouting absolute concerning nonsense that they are so convinced of things that are absolutely mad. And you can't say anything because then they'll argue, spiritual psychosis is a really hard mental illness. It's this audacity and confidence you get because you lose yourself and people think that having tea with their deities, that the deities are whispering, talking to them all the time. That no, that's not how deity works. And then there's all these other things I've heard over the years that I can't even remember. I remember one girl fairly recently talking how the moon is fake, that men killed the real moon and replaced it with a machine moon or something like that, and I was just like, oh dear, you really need a psychiatrist. Like, I'm not trying to be malicious. These people really need help. They've neglected their mental health, and witchcraft isn't easy. Unlike Abrahamic religions, there needs to be a lot of self-reflection, introspection, a lot of asking the same question over and over to check if you're alright. There's a lot of personal growth that needs to happen, and that is why people go back to Christianity, by the way. People can't handle this personal growth that witchcraft puts them under, so they either snap in some way, or they go back to, or seek out Christianity. You know, not everybody started out as a Christian, Catholic, whatever. And that's okay, I guess. Like, witchcraft really isn't for everybody, but it's the spiritual psychosis that I see on each time I open TikTok, and well, not each time, but really often, I see somebody who's lost their damn mind and believes things that absolutely don't make sense, even to a witch who's seen everything. And nobody. WitchTok didn't build a healthy relationship with mental health as it should have. So you can't say, honey, I think you need some help. You know, you either, no matter how insane the video is, there's always people agreeing with them. And I think those people are being malicious because every case of spiritual psychosis is unique. Everybody goes down a different path, so these people are absolutely egging them on and being malicious and probably having a laugh at their expense at somebody who's struggling with reality, the mental health. Somebody who needs help, they're like, oh yeah, you're so right, girl. Oh my god, I've seen it too. I believe. No, you're just being a prick. You're just being malicious. You're just being awful to somebody who needs help. That is also a huge part of WitchTok. But the hugest part is obviously the drama, the doxing, the arguing, and still to this day, WitchTok is doing this. Different faces, different names, but still the core of drama and arguing and cloud chasing is there. And I have to say, I've also seen so many scammers on WitchTok. So many people doing horrible readings and then they're getting money for it. And it makes me mad as somebody who's an actually amazing reader, an amazing witch. I sometimes have months without a single client. And then this idiot who picked up a tarot deck yesterday and is like, ooh, the King of Wands. Oh my, you'll meet a sexy, handsome man with the big penis and you'll live happily ever after. Yeah, that's not what the King of Wands is, you daft fucking idiot. And then these people get paid. And I sometimes don't. Which isn't fair. But that's just a personal thing. That's just a personal grievance. You should bloody book me though. If you want a legit reader and a legit witch, me. I'll always be slightly mad at how WitchTok treated me. How I got pushed aside, how when I was attacked nobody took my side, nobody believed me. They believed and took the side of a known bully over an LGBTQ plus person who was being doxxed and harassed, and then these people are allies and they love queer people, they love queer practitioners, and well, one of the strangest things that happened to me on WitchTok when I was scrolling one time, this woman whom I've never seen in my life was talking about me. The thing that happened between me and this narcissistic drunken fool. Because WitchTok has nothing better to do. They don't have practices, they don't have lives, it's just, ooh, who's beefing with who? Who's saying something about somebody? And it was so strange, so surreal to see this woman I've never seen or heard of before talking about what happened between Lavender and blah blah. That was bizarre, and I could make a joke like, haha, I made the front page news. You being hurt and put on blast is entertainment for somebody else on WitchTok, and it's not just WitchTok that does this, but I didn't even have 1,000 followers, and people decide to talk shit, and it occurred to literally nobody to see if maybe this woman who is known to attack people of color, who is known to attack LGBTQ plus people, who has a bigger following, maybe she's in the wrong in this drama. Not a single person had a bit of brain to come to the conclusion that maybe the person with no followers and is the usual target for this person, maybe they are not in the wrong. I also had my friends at the time talk they said some stupid things with reflected back on me. Those two idiots that I was friends with at the time put me in hotter water, and they bailed out without a single, not even a slap on the wrist. But obviously I blocked those two. But those two managed to ruin my love of drag. That's also why I quit drag, because I didn't have a good community of drag artists. Oh, that's another video, fuck it. So yes, WitchTok, I don't trust it, I don't like it. I wish that the internet had at least a little tiny corner for legitimate practitioners, legitimate readers, legitimate pagans, whatever. But I think every bit of every well, not but like, there's always a huge chunk that is rotten of every a spiritual community, because it's always going to get invaded by people who are entering in bad faith. who are trying to scam people, who are trying to form cults and have their egos validated. WitchTok is full of those. WitchTok is just full of those. And now what's happening on WitchTok, it's more proof that nobody knows what the fuck they're doing. Everybody's an asshole on WitchTok. There you go. Everybody's a bloody asshole. Well, not everybody, but the vast majority, who claim they're witches in bad faith, who... Oh, also, let me tell you one thing. New Age and witchcraft are not the same thing. They are very different, and most of WitchTok is New Age bullshit. New Ageism is... I don't like it. I really don't. It has a lot of harmful core practices to it. New Agers are usually racist. They have appropriated cultures, and yeah, that's the also thing that WitchTok always has a problem with respecting close practices. That not everything is yours to take because you like it, and that comes from New Ageism and Wicca. Not a huge fan. Pardon me, I've been talking for too long. Not a huge fan of Wicca, for reasons. There's overlap in how Wiccans and New Agers behave, so not too pleased with either of them. Yeah, there's always on WitchTok this pushing aside of practitioners of color and LGBTQ plus practitioners. You are always pushed aside, and then they all claim how they love their gay siblings and they don't have a racist bone in their body, and then they microaggression the hell out of you. I've talked for too long. I didn't think this video would be this long. My mouth has started to collapse on itself because it's tired. So, to conclude, WitchTok is stupid. Stay away from it. Don't trust anybody on WitchTok. I would tell you that you can trust me, but that's up to you to decide. Like, I know my stuff. I know witchcraft, but that's my practice. When there's a sea of other things you could practice, I can... Well, the thing is, when it comes to witchcraft, you shouldn't take anybody's word as gospel. Not even mine. Not even anybody's. No matter how old and experienced they are, they can still be wrong, because witchcraft is such a ephemeral thing and personal to every person. And because of the history we've had with a certain religion, a lot of pagan culture has been lost, and witchcraft is intrinsically tied to pagan religions, paganism. So we're just making up stuff, and that's also... Oh, damn it, I wanted to end this video, but okay. Another problem that exists on WitchTok is people just making up stuff. And then they're like, oh, this has been a 1,000-year-old practice from my family that's been passed down to me because I'm a hereditary witch and blah. No, you're not. And even if you are a hereditary witch, what the hell does that even matter? What does it even mean? It means nothing. Nothing. So there's a lot of lying and making up stuff for attention on WitchTok. Like, I've had dreams where oh yeah, they loved astral projection on there. Like, they astral projected every night and flew dragons and fought battles with wizards. I've astral projected and it doesn't look like that. It doesn't. It's not this big adventure when you're asleep. Yes, the lying, the making up stuff, there's this worship of oldness. Like, things don't have to be old to function. Things don't have to be a pre-Christian relic that your ancestors passed down to you. No. You can be a legit witch with absolutely new practices. New things we came up with yesterday. I made up most of my practice on my own. Trial and error. Did somebody practice like that back in the day? Sure, probably. You know, maybe I didn't invent anything, I reinvented it. So yes, don't trust anybody on WitchTok. They're lying. I think I should conclude this video now for real. I don't think anybody's going to watch 37 minutes of me yapping about WitchTok, but well, my two friends will. You know, they'll put it in the background as they clean or something, or whatever. So, at least I have the two of them. Maybe my third friend is also now capable of watching a video. She was poorly for the longest. But anyway. If you want a reading from me or to book me for a spell or something, my Ko-fi should be down below. Leave a like, subscribe, let me know what you think. If you're going to be rude, I'm going to be rude to you back. And until the next time, goodbye. Oh, and remember that witchcraft is hard work. It's not going to come easy. So it's a tough practice, and if you really want to practice witchcraft, it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be glitz and glamour and crystals and all of that. It's hard work. So if it's not for you, that's okay.